Yo guys, what is up? It is Alex or Black Guy here, and today I'm just going to talk about Xbalanque's early game, specifically how you should level Xbalanque at level 1. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm genuinely curious what is the best way to level Xbalanque currently as of this video being made, and I've seen arguments for leveling his 1, 2, and 3 first, and every single ability could have a different argument on why you should level it. So I went to jungle practice and I did some testing, but before I show you the test, I'm just going to quickly go over what his abilities do. I'm just going to do a quick rundown of what his abilities do. I'm not going to read the entire thing and just give you a general rundown of what each ability does because this isn't a full guide, this is just a small video I want to make. And then after I talk about his abilities, I'm just going to do some math and try and estimate the time it takes to clear a wave by himself at level 1. Again, the math isn't going to take into account items, just raw damage at level 1. I'm also going to assume that the 2 bolas that branch off of Xbalanque's 1 deal 30% each bola of his base damage, not the damage added with his 1. Xbalanque's 1 increases the damage of his basic attacks. Xbalanque's 2 throws out 10 darts, each dart dealing damage and damage over time. And Xbalanque's 3 is a dash and it also does damage within a certain radius. Just as a quick side note, I usually start out with Bluestone and Tier 1 Trans, and this math isn't going to take those into account, so the estimated times will be a bit slower than what I actually test. In this, I also don't account for minion damage, which is a huge chunk of the minion damage at level 1, so to compensate for this, I'm just going to divide the time that it takes by half. So starting off with Xbalanque's 1, Xbalanque's 1 adds 10 power to his basic attacks, plus 60% because of the 2 that branch off of the first thing you hit. So that's 37 base damage plus 10 plus the 28, assuming that both of the bolas that branch off the first one hit a minion. This is going to give you a total of 75 damage to the minion wave. You take the minion wave's total health, which is 1890, divide that by 2 because to compensate for the minion damage, which is 945. And then you divide that health, 945, by the basic attack damage 75, which is about 13 basics. So overall, this should take about 14 seconds because your attack speed is 0.95. But you gotta remember that this is assuming that every single bola hits a minion. So now let's talk about Xbalanque's 2. Again, I'm gonna divide the total minion health by 2 and assume best case scenario for this. So each dart does 30 damage and does 10 damage per second for 3 seconds, so that's 60 damage. And this is going to assume that each dart hits a minion. So that's going to be 60 damage per minion. There are 6 minions, so it's going to do 360 total damage. Again, divide the total minion health 1890 by 2, which gives you 945. Subtract the 945 by 360. I think I said that right, which is going to give you 585 health. And then the rest will be from your basics, which does 37 each, which gives you a total of 16 basics plus poison darts. Takes about 1 second to use your poison darts, so this is going to come to a total time of 17, 18 seconds. If you level Xiba's 2 and don't get any items, it should take about 17 to 18 seconds to clear the minion wave, assuming best case scenario. And finally, let's do the math on Xbalanque's 3. So Xbalanque's 3, you are guaranteed 80 damage, and there are 6 minions, so this is going to do a total of 480 damage to the minion wave. Again, divide the total minion health by 2 to compensate for the minion damage. Subtract 945 by 480, or however the fuck you say it, I'm bad at English. So this is going to leave you 465 health to do with your basic attacks, and that takes about 13 basic attacks. So overall, this is going to take about 15 seconds because you also need to take into account the time it takes to use your 3, which is about 1.5 to 2 seconds. So just going to estimate about 15 seconds to clear the wave if you level your 3. So now let's go into the actual tests I did in jungle practice. Keep in mind the timer is going to start when the first minion takes damage, and the timer is going to end the moment the last minion dies. So this took exactly 13 seconds, and I'm also going to point out that I did attack the front line instead of the back line when I know you're supposed to attack the back line when clearing waves, but as level 1 you don't want to be clearing the back lines because that means you're closer to the enemies, and if they outclear you then you just get fucked. So this was as if I was in an actual conquest game. So I attacked the front line minions and it took exactly 13 seconds. So using Xiba's 2, this took about 12 seconds. Now I want to talk about this because you do have to go in the middle of the wave to hit every single minion, if you're lucky enough to hit every single minion. So this was a really good wave, so I don't think it would take 11.79 seconds every single time you tried to clear a wave at level 1. And also, you are pretty close to the enemy because you are between the waves, so if they decide to go off the minions and get you, you're going to take a lot of damage because your poison darts will probably hit the support. So that means all the minions will turn on you and you'll just take a lot of damage. So you have to keep that in mind. This was pretty fast, but you have to keep in mind that you will be taking damage and you are closer to the enemy. And finally, Xbalanque's 3. So my main argument for this video is you need to level Xiba's 3 at level 1. And right here in the test, I got 11.65 seconds, which is the fastest out of the 3. And I missed a basic, but that doesn't even matter because I missed the basic and I still cleared lane the fastest. So an argument that people usually make is you don't want to use your dash to clear the lane. Well, at level 1, it doesn't freaking matter. You're not going to have your dash up after the wave's cleared no matter what you level up first. Because if you have your 2 or your 1, you're not going to have your dash. If you use your dash, you're still not going to have your dash. So it doesn't even matter. And also, if you do hit an enemy with your 3, you're going to get poke damage and the minions will go on you, but you can just turn and run to the back line so you can avoid the minion damage. So not only is it relatively safe, it also clears it the fastest. So in conclusion, I think it is correct to level Xbalanque's 3 due to how safe it is and how fast you clear it. Also, you are guaranteed the same amount of damage every time. Because with your 1, your time to clear the wave is really dependent on if your bolas hit the minions, and those are pretty consistent, but you could still miss. And also with your 2, your darts could be blocked by another minion or a god, so it might not hit all the minions and will slow down your time. And also you're stuck in the middle of the wave, so if they decide to jump you, you could just instantly die because of the poke you're taking from the minions and the fact that they're focusing you instead of the minions. But with Xbalanque's 3, you are 100% guaranteed that consistency. It's not like you can miss a minion because it's a big freaking circle. So if you miss the minions, then God have mercy on your soul. But also, if you do end up poking the enemies and the minions go onto, you could just retreat before the ability is even over. You just need to get them in the circle and the darts will hit them and then you can turn around and run. So this is a short little video on why you should level Xbalanque's 3 and just the pros and cons of leveling everything at level 1. If you see any problems with the video, feel free to comment, or if you have any questions, feel free to comment. And yeah, see you guys later.